Okay, Mom.
We're back.
We're back. Do we sound nicer on this?
I know. We heard what you guys were saying about us. The sound.
Listen, we heard y'all, and we're just trying out a couple of things, so our next few episodes might look a little different.
Yes.
But we're learning as you are listening.
We're learning and we're trying to, I guess, figure out the best setup. So there's going to be some new things happening.
Yeah.
You know.
Some mic changes. Maybe we'll move
Around.
We'll move the setting around and stuff. But you know what? We'll see what works. We'll see what works.
We'll see what works.
Thank you for joining us,
Thank
ladies
you
and
for
gentlemen.
following.
Oh,
Thank you for
man.
the support.
It's been insane.
It's been wild.
I know. I feel like sometimes we can't handle it.
Yeah, I don't think it ever hits you because you're just like, what? Us? But it's amazing. Yeah.
Honestly, sometimes we're just sitting here talking like literally it's a chai date.
She even has a plate of cookies out. Like, you know, you go to like your aunt's house and they give you like a plate of cookies. Like she's doing the most. She's doing the most.
Also, guys, one of these cookies is a no-name brand. So let's reel it back into the episode.
The best cookie ever though.
It's like this no-name coconut
Let's show it
chocolate.
to them.
Yeah, show it. It's so good. It looks like it has like chocolate stripes at the top. And it reminds me of, I don't know, growing up, did you ever buy or have like Girl Guide cookies?
I didn't really have Girl Guide cookies.
I didn't have them either until I was like much later.
Yeah, same
I
with
used to
me.
work at the clearance warehouse, and they used to have the Girl Guide cookies that
Yeah.
they didn't sell, and they used to have this, and it was, I don't know the Girl
actual
Guide
name,
name for
yeah.
it, but when I found this no name version, I was like, this is that cookie.
It's so good.
It's amazing.
It's so good. They're like crackers.
Guys gotta
You
try
just
it.
Keep eating them all the time.
Yeah, I know.
My goodness.
I know. And the other one is that Celebration Company. I love their cookies.
They have really good cookies.
I love them.
Yeah, they are amazing.
They have like a version of, you know, Fingers, Cadbury Fingers.
Yeah, they have a version of.
Yeah.
Why are you telling me these things?
I literally could sit there and eat that whole box, and I wouldn't even know.
Oh my
Who's
god.
counting calories right now?
Me? After I ate like 2 of these cookies.
Oh man. Welcome to the show, guys.
Come to the show, guys. Well, we need to reel ourselves in, okay? Like we go from one thing to another. We need to reel it in.
The tangents are real,
Yeah, they really are.
but y'all love it, okay?
Y'all love it.
Because I feel like everybody's mind works this way. We just say it out loud.
Yeah, totally. That's just the way it is. You know, that's how it should be. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So please pause the episode, subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on Spotify, please follow us on Spotify, leave us a 5-star review. Or if not 5-star, you know, just something a little bit nice, a little bit close to that number. We really,
Yeah.
really, really appreciate it. It works wonders for our algorithm. Also, if you are on socials, follow us on Instagram and TikTok. The family is growing. We love it.
We love it. It's actually really cool because you get to interact with a lot of people that you probably normally would not get the chance to interact with.
Yeah.
And then you get to hear about other people's stories and you're just like, whoa,
Yeah.
people are like really going through it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's nice to know that some of the struggles that we go through, which is going to be one of the topics that we're going to talk about today, by the way.
Yeah.
Because I have a question to ask you.
Okay.
But I feel like just the struggle is so real. And in that moment, when you do feel like you're so alone,
Yeah.
you find a community and you start sharing things. And when you hear the responses, you're like, I'm not alone.
I'm not alone.
There
It's
are
a collective experience.
right? People have been through this or are going
Yeah.
through this with me.
Yeah, totally.
And
I
I
feel
love
like
that.
especially when it comes to like struggles, things that you're struggling
Yep.
through, like things that maybe some of us have gone through growing up in a Desi household. When you have other people that are relating to that, because in those moments you're just like, I'm so alone, like no one can relate to me, even the people in my house can't relate to me. But then you're like, no, there's other people out there that have the same experiences.
Yep.
And it just validates you.
It
You know what
does.
I mean, like, okay, we're all struggling. we're all depressed.
Everyone's like on this journey. And I feel
Yeah.
like you're really just trying. I mean, it's nice that we can do it together.
Yeah, it really is nice to do
Yeah.
it together, obviously. Yeah.
So what I wanted to ask you is, so many of you have reached out to us, like DMs or whatever, just asking about some tips for newborn.
Ooh.
So like, I would say newborn would be the first 3 months of what after your
would
baby's
say that
born,
too,
right?
yeah.
And it's the quote unquote fourth trimester for a mom.
Totally.
And not only are you healing and getting over this traumatic experience of giving birth, however you gave birth, you are also trying to figure out what to do with this new baby in your life
Yeah.
now. And so I wanted to ask you, do you recall or remember things that actually worked for you? And you know what? Desi Totke are all allowed here because
Yeah.
there are some tips that my mother-in-law and my mom gave me.
Yeah.
They came through.
Yeah.
And honestly, when somebody first told me about it, I rolled my eyes.
Yeah,
I was like,
me
oh
too.
my God, here we go again. This is not what I want to hear. And when I finally gave up and was like, I'm just gonna try it,
Yeah.
it worked.
I feel like some of them do work.
They do. Some of them don't, but
Yeah.
also like some Western tips don't work.
Absolutely.
Right? So I feel like it's just literally because every baby's different, every mom's journey is different.
Yeah. Every experience is different.
Exactly.
Right? Like to what you said, like, I mean, with your first baby, you're different. With your second baby, you're different. You're just more seasoned and you don't like, you're not so like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Yeah.
Whereas with the first, you're like, oh my God, oh my God.
Yeah. So, any newborn tips? Anything that you remember doing with Emma or Asher, where you felt like, man, that really, really worked?
Okay, so because we were talking about like Desi Totke, I would say I feel like Banjiri works.
But
Okay.
GD works, guys.
Okay, because I think it does give you like energy.
It does.
And I feel like it helped with my milk supply. I
Yeah.
felt like it did. Okay. And now I don't know what my mom puts in there, but like I feel like it works. And I do believe that stuff.
Your mom needs to start selling it.
No, seriously, like, but I can't eat a lot of it.
I know.
It's too much for me.
I get it.
So I would eat like a spoon here and there, and like my mom would be like, "Eat your veggies," you know. But I think that was one of the things that worked. I think unrelated to like the desi aspect of it, going to a breastfeeding clinic changed my life.
Wow.
Like if I had to explain what I had to do when I first had Emma, oh my goodness, I was breastfeeding, I was pumping. Then I would also try to give her like the milk, but she wouldn't latch on, like she wouldn't take the bottle. So then I had to like use this syringe thing with like this long tube that they use to like give it's like so confusing. I was doing so many different things all at the same time.
Yeah.
So I would feed her. Then as soon as I was done, and this is in the middle of the night, guys, I would feed her. And then as soon as I'm done feeding her, I would like sit on the side and pump. And then you're like waiting and waiting and waiting, dying from sleep deprivation. And then after that, you try to give her like this much pumped milk that you pumped for like God knows how long. And so like, and even after all that effort, like she was still not latching properly. And so you're just like, oh my God, like I'm so useless. Like you feel so down in the dumps
I get it.
and the pressure to breastfeed. And so when I went to the breastfeeding clinic, they like helped with the technique. They were just so amazing.
I love
That was
that.
like the best thing I think I've ever done when it comes to feeding.
Yeah. And I remember when you told me about the breastfeeding clinic, I was like, I'm gonna check that out. Luckily I was actually able to get the like those consults to come to the
Lactation.
house, lactation consultant,
Yeah.
to come to the house, and she kind of helped or whatever. I think it was just so painful. I know I managed it with
Yeah.
all three, and I did end up breastfeeding. Not so much in the beginning. I gave a lot of formula because
Yeah,
I just
me too.
couldn't handle
Me
it.
too. Yeah.
And I despise pumping. Like,
Me too.
I can't even tell you guys
It's
how much
so annoying.
it irks me.
Yeah.
The sound.
Yeah.
Damn machine.
The
okay?
damn machine.
Do you want to know something? My cuckoo mind, I didn't buy the hands-free bra that goes with it the first
my
time
God,
around.
stop.
So I'm sitting there holding it.
Oh my God, rude. Whoa.
And then I was like, who has time to do this? And
yeah.
I was so turned off. And then the second time around,
Yeah.
somebody was like, oh, what is the matter with you? There's a bra that goes with it. I was like, what?
Oh my God. No, that changed my life. But now it's like you don't even have to use those ones. They have the ones that you can attach directly.
Yeah, and it goes like inside your
Like the
actual bra or
LV
something.
or something like that.
Which one did what pump? Do you have
I
a
used-
recommendation?
Okay, so I used Medela and I really love my Medela pump, but I want, like, if I had to do it over again, which probably I will not do again, if I had to do it again, I would want to try the hands-free ones that you can just attach and you can just like put a bra on top and you're good to
Yes.
go.
So
And one is the LV,
yes.
and I don't know, there's a couple of different ones out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they're available in Canada.
Oh yeah?
I heard that they're only available in the States, but maybe they've changed that.
Maybe, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I had the Medela one too, the hands-free one.
Medela's a great company. They've had their products in for a long time. So.
Yeah, and honestly, like, if I did ever go out and I came back and I really needed to pump, like, sometimes my milk supply would be incredible. And I'd look at this pump and I'd be like, you're a goddamn lifesaver.
No, really, truly. Like there's times when you're like sitting there and you're pumping and you pump that full bottle and you're still going.
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like that
pride?
That pride and accomplishment is like no other.
Honestly.
No one gets it. Only moms get that.
Only mom gets it. And only like pumping moms, y'all really get
Yeah,
it.
y'all get it. Okay.
Because I remember I would just
a lot.
here and there I hated pumping, but when I needed to pump,
Yeah.
and I would get that 5 ml in that Medela bottle, I would look at it and be like, I'm set. I'm going out tonight.
I'm going out tonight. Not even that's so true. That's so true. I think that was like I think the breastfeeding journey for all moms is really hard.
Yeah.
Really it is. Even feeding in general. Even if you're not
Honestly.
breastfeeding, like, oh my God, is the baby gassy? Is it
Yeah.
this? Is it that? There's
Yeah.
like so many millions of things that are going on all the time. So you're always just like concerned about everything.
Yeah, and then I know a lot of people who ended up getting formula from like overseas. They
Yeah.
wouldn't use like Similac or Enfamil here.
Yeah.
And I feel like I wasn't even informed, and I got 3 kids, but I would just use Enfamil because I was like, it's easy and
It's available.
it's ready to use.
Yeah.
But I think during COVID, when they had the formula shortages, a lot of people were looking overseas, like Germany and all these
Yeah,
other
the
places.
European formula. But I feel like European products in general are really, really good.
So I heard they're actually better than
I'm sure they are.
here. Yeah.
I think that they have like much higher standards for things.
Yeah.
than we do over here.
And though, so even if you end up giving formula, but it was so much more expensive.
Probably.
But I mean, hey, if you got the money, and you know, as moms, we get it because you want to give your kid the best.
Yeah, totally.
I get it.
But I also feel like there's so much stuff out there that's just like, this is such useless stuff.
Bakwas.
Like major book boss, okay? But the way you fall into that trap,
Oh.
okay? Like
Sucks you in.
I'm not gonna lie. I remember this funniest story ever. I remember when my oldest sister, okay, she was about to have her baby. This is like the first baby in our family.
Yeah.
Okay. So like she comes down and she's like, yeah, I have to go to the States. I have this long list of all these baby supplies I have to get. And we're like, me and my sister, we're like, yeah, we're gonna come with you. We're gonna go shopping in the States, like Girl Day. Like we're so excited.
Yeah.
And we go with her, and this woman's list is like longer than like Santa's list for every child around the world. Okay. So like we're going with her. She like pops into like every freaking store and she's going in there. And me and my sister are just like, there's no freaking way you need this much shit.
Right?
Like seriously.
You don't.
But like now that I have, like I went through it and then I was like, yo, you actually feel like you do need that stuff.
100%.
Like that's the truth.
Yeah.
Okay. Like you need the gentle baby like laundry detergent.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? You need the gentle baby dish soap. Okay.
Yep.
You need the boogie wipes.
Oh, yeah.
You're using a regular wipe. You
can't-
need boogie wipes.
The way I got caught in those boogie wipes,
Yo.
I was like, oh my God, is this special? Like, it says boogie on it. Like, is this what I'm supposed to be using?
It has saline.
Y'all, use Huggies, okay? You don't need anything else.
Use a Kleenex.
Yeah.
Okay. Use a paper towel. Sometimes you got to use that TP. Okay. You use what you can, and you learn this with the second child. Because with the first one, for some reason, you think you need 25 pairs of shoes for a newborn baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was me as well.
Let me tell you, all of the newborn shoes that I have for my kids are in mint condition.
Mint condition.
Because who's putting on shoes on a baby?
I learned that the hard way. Okay.
My kids lived in
Learned
zipper
that
onesies.
100%.
So I was like, oh, I had all these cute newborn, like matching hat
Yeah.
with the matching babe and then the matching shoes. And I was like, what a cute outfit.
Yeah.
Guess what my kids lived in? Swaddle blankets, and zipper onesies.
Con onesies. That's exactly what it is.
That's all it was.
I remember I got like all these like little dresses. I'm like this, like I think with girls it's more.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's probably the same with guys too. But like for girls, like I want to get all these dresses. I got like dresses galore. Okay, and then I was like, this is like 3 to 6. This is 1 to 3. This is newborn. This is preemie in case. And then this is like, and I'm like setting it all up, like everything's being laundried before, like laundry your clothes, then you gotta
Hanging it on the
iron
closet.
it, you know, you gotta set up the closet aesthetic for the baby, like you're doing all these things.
Because your baby can see all of that, right?
Ain't that the truth, okay? And like then when you have the baby, you're like, do I really want to put this floofy tulle dress on my baby right now? Like, mujhe uljan ho rahi hai.
Yeah.
Like I can't, because I know that she's probably like, I hate you so much, Mom. I just want to be comfortable, and you're making me wear this shit, and I don't want to wear it. Okay?
Also, my whole thing was like, what if they get a skin rash?
Right?
This material is trash. I'm not putting this
material is
on.
trash. The material is trash. Let's be real, okay? And then it's like you put like a sleeveless little dress on, and everybody around you is like, the baby's getting cold. The baby is getting cold. PSA, wrap that baby up in a blanket.
Oh my
And then it's like you gotta swaddle. Like everyone. It's just like there's so many things. And then you have
many
like
things.
50,000 swaddle blankets. Okay.
How many did I actually need?
Two.
Two.
I swear to God, I think I had like 15. I'm not even joking.
I had like 15,
I
25.
don't know what was wrong with me.
And you know what it was? I had all the loose ones.
Yeah.
And then I discovered the Halo sleep sacks
Oh my God.
and the Halo swaddles.
Those are
and I never looked
amazing.
back. Halo. Genius.
Genius.
I mean,
Genius.
my kids have lived in them, and I went from kid to kid to kid,
Yeah.
and I would, and okay, so here's the thing, here's a mom tip that I kind of give to all soon-to-be moms or moms with newborns.
Yeah.
And I know sometimes it may come across as my kid doesn't like to be swaddled. Hey,
Yeah.
my kids never like to be swaddled
Yeah.
either. But my mom and my mother-in-law were like, listen, even in Pakistan, like people would take a dupatta and
Yeah.
wrap the baby so tight
Yeah.
because it mimics them being in the womb.
Yeah.
So she was like, I know you're worried because your kid is crying. Just
Yeah.
try it.
Yeah.
And as soon as I tried it, and of course, as I'm swaddling this baby, they're screaming.
Oh my God, so true.
But as soon as that Velcro would snap,
Yeah.
silence,
Calm.
calm.
It really does work.
It really works.
really works.
And so originally I tried to learn because the nurses at the hospital tried to teach me. They were like, put your
Yeah.
arm in this way, and then you
Yeah.
wrap it around, and the other arm goes in this way, and then you wrap it around, and I'm like, huh? Like,
Oh my God. No, I feel like this.
I need like a 3-step tutorial. Like, how do I
Yes.
do this, right?
Yes.
And mind you, when I had my first, there was no TikTok.
Yeah.
I was just trying to figure things. I was on like Wikipedia, being like, how do I swaddle this
What to
baby?
expect app. How to swaddle babies. No, but that's true. The technique for swaddling, I don't think I knew it either. And I
Yeah.
didn't even know about the Halo sleep sack. It's funny because my sisters used it.
Yeah.
For some reason, like I was just, and the swaddle worked for me, but I felt like they kind of wiggle their way out of the swaddles.
Yeah, so then when I discovered the one with the swaddle, the Halo swaddle blanket
Yeah.
with the Velcro,
Yeah.
so I would like tighten them so tight, their arms like this, and
Yeah.
sometimes I would get my husband to hold them down a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
And then we would swaddle them so tight, they weren't moving.
Oh my
They
God.
were not getting out of it. And another tip I had was I would only swaddle them at night.
Oh,
So that way during the day they're kind of loose and here and there,
then they
put them in the
also
swing,
know.
and then they kind of know
Yeah.
because sometimes in the beginning your babies will change their night and days, and that's
Yeah.
why they're awake all night and
Yeah.
sleeps all day.
so true.
So I would use those the sleep swaddles at night, and I did it for all the kids.
Wow, that's amazing.
And then my mom would be like, "Oh, to like make their head shape." She'd be like, "You can put their head on a
Oh my God, my mom was so
on a sack of like rice."
thing.
It's a thing.
But
and
I
they
was
were
like,
like,
for the
it
life
would
of me, like
Yeah. So when my mom said, I was like, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
So I ended up buying that heart pillow with a little
too.
hole in it.
too.
I don't know what's the company,
I don't know what it's called. I have no idea.
but I used that, and actually that pillow was pretty good.
that pillow was really good.
Yeah,
So
I recommend it.
that was a really good pillow. But with Emma, she was fine. She didn't even actually no. With Emma, I didn't use a pillow, and then my mom made a pillow for her.
Oh,
She,
how?
She
That's
sewed a
cool.
pillow for her.
Oh.
And I don't know what she put in there. Maybe it was rice.
Or some kind
But
of
I
like
used it.
beanbag material,
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then with Asher, he actually had like one side of his head was a little bit more like out and one side was a little bit more flat because he'd always turn at night.
Mm-hmm.
And then I took him to the doctor and they're like, either he's gonna need that helmet or you can actually like try to do it yourself. So it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like exercise where you're turning him to the side and you're very like carefully rolling up a little blanket and pushing it towards his back. So he's always on this side and the pressure on his head is always on that side. So it'll kind of even itself out. And it did work.
Oh,
I don't
interesting.
know if it's like 100%, but it worked really well and he
Yeah.
didn't end up needing the helmet. But that is like a really good, that pillow was great because I got that for him too.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is amazing. Like this pillow really works.
It worked really well for like my first and second, and then
Yeah.
Isa was just like he was like a head bubble. Like he just always was like the biggest like flat head. I was like, why aren't you put your head on the pillow? And like he would start with his head on the
Yeah.
pillow, and by the first night feed, I don't know where the pillow is, and his head is all the way. He's like all the way down to the other end of the bassinet. I'm like, what is this kid doing? Like gymnastics at night.
Some of them are movers. They just want to move around everywhere. They just want to live their life. You know what that means, right? It's like foreshadowing for the future.
Right? Here we go. You know they're gonna be
That's so
super active.
true. That's so true.
I have another question that somebody was asking me. Did your kids take pacifiers?
So honestly speaking, I tried really hard to give them a pacifier, but Emma definitely did not. She hated it. Hated it. With Asher, he kind of took it like here and there, like very sporadically.
Yeah.
Very sporadically. And then he was just like, I don't want anything to do with this. And then I remember when he got older, I think he was like 1.5. He found his old pacifier and he would just kind of hang around, walk around with his pacifier in his mouth, and like, they have like such cute pacifier, like, what do they call those?
They have like a little thing attached to it. Yeah.
Pacifier attaching things, and it's so cute, and like they look so cute with it. But I also know, like, I don't like the pacifier habit personally.
I know.
But I also feel like for some parents, it's like, it's working for us. Let us live. So
You gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta do.
Yeah.
But they didn't. They were never like major pacifier takers. What about your kids?
No, hell no.
Yeah.
None of them. I tried so hard because I was like, just give me a break, because I feel like I ended up being their pacifier because I was breastfeeding all the time.
Yeah.
And so I was like, just try it. Just try it.
Yeah.
You know, I just fed you. I know you don't need to be fed.
Yeah.
And they just wanted to soothe,
Yeah.
but they never took it. But all of them are thumb suckers.
Yeah.
And can I be honest? I don't give a shit. Suck your thumb and leave me alone.
All right.
Okay?
And they're gonna grow out of
They
it.
do. Like my eldest doesn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
And my 2-year-old, he's still doing it a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
And my younger one is still doing it. And eventually I'm gonna like I'll figure
feel like-
I'll cross that path.
Yeah, honestly, you know what I just hate when like I remember that like, you know, if someone like older than you sees your child with a pacifier, they're like, don't give them the pacifier. It's not good for them. Or like the thumb sucking, like why is he still sucking his thumb? Or like why is she still sucking her thumb? And you're just like, oh my God, man, like do you know the hardships that I'm going through right now?
Right?
And like your issue with me is why is he sucking his thumb? Like it's giving me like a moment of peace, for the love of God. Like
Just let I feel like anything that it's like when they get attached to like a stuffed animal or
stuffy,
something,
yeah.
right? And people get all judgy about it, and it's like, leave them alone.
Yeah, I
There's
know.
absolutely
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that.
yeah, like Asher, he used to have this little bunny and he was obsessed with it.
Yeah.
The bunny kind of he got over the bunny and now he's obsessed with his blanket.
And
Obsessed.
yeah.
Which is like, I'm like, whoa, I've never experienced it before. Like Emma was not like that with her blanket, but he loves his blanket.
Oh.
Like he wakes up in the morning and it's like, I'm not leaving, give me my damn blanket.
Yeah.
And then even come like, hey, come lay down with me. He's like, where is my blanket?
Yeah.
Where's the blanks? And I'm like, all right.
I love
It's
that.
odd because I've never experienced it. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, whoa, like he really loves this thing.
Yeah. It's really cute. I love my Ibrahim, my eldest. He's gonna turn 5.
Yeah.
But he has to have like a specific stuffy with him all the time.
Aw.
And it varies. Like week to week, he might want a different one.
Aw,
But
that's
he
cute.
just has to have that in his bed, like when he's sleeping.
It's just like comfort for them. It's
Yeah.
really cute. I think it's so cute because believe me, they will grow out of it.
They
Even
will,
though-
and they learn how to take care of things.
Yeah, that's so true.
So I find that like he kind of knows like where is it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take care of it. I can't drop it anywhere if I take
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Oh, if it gets wet, he's like, Mama, can we clean it?
Yeah,
And like
yeah.
dry it, because he wants to take care of it.
Yeah, I love
So
that.
when I see things like that, I'm like, okay, you're also learning responsibility, right?
Yeah, that's so true.
Kinda
And I
let them
mean,
do that.
even if they weren't, they were just playing around with it, I'd just be like, let them be. You know, like sometimes I think back and I'm like, what I would do to be a kid again.
Right?
Honestly,
I
like
know.
such a wonderful like moment in your life, and like let them experience childhood to the fullest. Like
Yeah.
they don't need to grow up. There's enough BS out there that we're dealing with. Okay, adulting is not fun.
Also, how bad did you want to grow up
Oh my
when you
God.
got at a certain age?
Right? Like my daughter to me now, she's like, Mommy, I can't wait to be old like you. And I'm just like, first of all, thanks for calling me old. But second of all, I was like, please do not like want to grow old. It's not
Yeah.
as great as you think it is.
Honestly, but I remember like my mom, we'd always say to my mom, like, oh my God, I can't wait till we're older. I can't
Yeah.
wait till we're older. And my mom would be like, why?
I know.
She never understood it. And now I'm like, I think that's why it's great to just like let your kids be kids. Because eventually all kids are going to be like, I can't wait until we're older.
That's so true.
Because they think they get, I don't know, more freedom in some way, or they can make their own decisions.
Yeah,
or-
and I think it is a freedom and the decision, but it's also like they're looking at you and they're like, oh, like my mom is so cool.
yeah.
She is like, you know, look at everything that she gets to do by herself, and like I always have to ask for help. And,
Yeah.
like with my daughter, it was like when she was younger, she was like, oh, like I can't wait until I'm older so I can turn the light on by myself.
Aww.
And I was just like, okay, like you don't have to be, just stay this age forever.
Just say I can't wait to be taller.
Yeah, can't wait
Not
to be
older.
yeah. But then it's also like when I look back at old pictures of her, I'm just like, oh my God. Or like even pictures of my son, I'm like, oh my God, like how did the time go by so
I
fast?
know.
Yeah.
Ladies, we know, because in the moment, that day can be so hard.
Yeah.
And I know it's so cliche. Everybody says this.
I know,
that
it's
the
so
days are so
cliche.
long and
Yeah,
the years are
yeah.
so short. It really is true though. Like sometimes when you sit back and you're like, whoa, where was I 5 years ago and where am I right
Where
now?
am I now? And then it's also like a reminder that like, yo, you're getting older.
You're getting older.
I don't even want to think about it.
Yo, my niece told me every morning I'm getting older. My lower back at night is like, get your ass in bed.
You're rolling out of bed, your knees are like
You
cracking
know,
everywhere.
and like, do you know whenever like if I need to pick something up from the ground, I need a game plan on how I'm gonna get back up.
Right? You've got to like, you need a Sahara. You need to like put one hand on the bed and be like, all right, we doing this? Are you gonna be able to hold my weight today?
Or like if I get my one hand on my knee and my other knee gives out, it's game over for Aruj. I'm down. I'm down.
No, do you want to know the funniest thing that happened to me? Okay, this a few years ago. I went to a wedding.
Okay.
Obviously, like I'm not wearing heels on the daily, but today this the wedding day. I was like, I'm gonna take out my nice heels. I'm gonna take out the Manolos. I'm gonna have things going today. Okay.
Get it.
It's like I'm walking into the banquet hall. You know, I'm about to open the door, and literally my knee gave out. My knee gave out. Like it had never happened to me before, and I just literally bent down like I was kneeling to be knighted.
Oh my God.
I swear to God. And I sat there, and then obviously I was like, this is like the most embarrassing shit ever.
Oh my
And then I looked around and I was like, all right, who's gonna laugh at me? And nobody outside, thank the Lord. And I got my ass up, left my dignity on the ground, walked my ass inside the wedding. And I was just like, this is a real thing. You really do lose all control of things when you get older. It's not fun.
In
Not
Hina's
fun.
diary of humbling moments.
I swear to God, there's so many.
There's so many.
There's so many. And also the way that your kids humble you.
Ooh.
Like sometimes you're like, someone asks you like, hey, like why don't you come by tomorrow? And you're just like, oh, you know, tomorrow I'm really busy. And your child's like, Mom, no, you're not. You said you're not doing anything tomorrow.
And you're like,
You said you're just sitting on your sofa and doing nothing tomorrow. And you're like, shh, hold on.
no one asked you. Oh,
I think that part is only gonna get worse when they get
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
and it's gonna be like your kids are probably gonna have a bone to pick with you too. Like,
Oh, for sure.
my mom said no, I can't go to my friend's house. Let me make her life a living
Mm.
hell.
And then they'll see you sitting around the couch and be like, "Oh, this is why I couldn't go to my friend's house."
Holy
'Cause
shit.
you wanted to sit on the couch.
That's so funny.
Oh man. I wanted to also ask, in terms of like certain, we talked a bit about this earlier in this episode, but in terms of baby products and this whole baby industry, okay? By the way, this is not a sponsored episode.
It's not.
So you're welcome for all the free advertisement, baby
Right.
product people.
However, if you would like to sponsor, please feel free to
Send
do
us an
so.
email.
Yeah, send us an email.
So I know about this list. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you about this list.
There's a list.
Okay. So Salma is Hina's older sister.
She is.
Okay?
That she
She
is.
created this amazing list on Google Docs.
It was actually Shaida and
Oh.
Shaida did it first, which is my eldest sister.
Mm.
And then Salma revamped it. And then she had her baby.
And every time one of us, because Salma was the first one, I think, to have.
No, Shaida was the first one.
And then Salma.
Amongst us.
Amongst us,
yes,
it was Salma, right?
Yes, yes.
And so then eventually when we all started getting pregnant, we were like, yo, pass on that list.
Pass on the list.
Pass on the goods. Let us see, so that we felt like we were a little bit prepared, or we knew
Yeah.
kind of what to shop for, because
Yeah.
honestly, it is an overwhelming industry. Let's be
Daunting.
real.
It's daunting. Yeah.
And so when I got my hands on this list,
Yeah.
I was like, do I
It's
need
literally everything.
do I need all of this?
Yeah, because some people are just fazul kharch. Okay? I would like to, AKA my siblings and myself.
So I'm not me too. We all get roped in.
Yeah, we do get roped in.
We do.
We do get roped in.
Especially when it's your first. I'm like, oh, well, if this is the
exciting.
best,
It's exciting.
It's what I wanna get.
Exactly.
right?
And I have to say that, like, my sisters, the research they did, girl,
I know.
Like-
I saw the list.
the research was so intense. Like, the list was like the name. Okay, so it was like divided into like diapering, teething, like sleeping, bathing, and then there's like a bunch of products under that. Like, this is what you need, and like how much it is, where you get it from, all this stuff. Okay, and it came through so clutch. Like, when you're out there, like I remember my first visit. I feel like when I was pregnant with Emma, I was a little bit like, I didn't get anything for Emma until I was maybe 6 months.
Same. I actually
It
didn't
was
buy
so
anything.
overwhelming for me.
Do you want to know something? It was overwhelming, but also my mom had this thing
Yeah.
where she was like, wait a certain time period in your pregnancy.
Yeah.
Because she was like, God forbid something does
Yeah,
happen.
totally.
She was like, then at least like you didn't like buy something or whatever, and then
yeah.
you kind of can get disheartened.
Yeah.
And for some reason, she just always like, sometimes I'd be out with her, I'm like, oh mom, this is so cute. And she's
Yeah.
like, Aruj, it's really cute. I love
Yeah.
it. I know you're excited.
Yeah.
But she did tell me. And then I just ended up waiting a little bit
Yeah,
later to
yeah,
buy things.
yeah.
So
I think that that does happen. I mean, it's also our internal fears too, because sometimes you're just like, what if something does go wrong?
yeah, and I totally understood. Like, I didn't take that in any wrong
Yeah,
way. I
for
was
sure.
like, I get that because,
For sure.
you know, God forbid something does happen and then you have all these things and
And then I
it's
think
hard.
you look at those things and you get like more sad.
Of
For like
course.
people that have gone through it, definitely like they can probably relate
Yeah.
and resonate with that.
So you waited till
So I
6 months.
waited. I waited for 6 months, and then one day I was like, I need to start getting stuff, okay?
Yeah.
And I remember I walked into Babies R Us, and like I literally was like, okay, well, the thing that I know I have to get is like baby bottles.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm like standing at the wall of baby bottles, you guys. The wall was like from one side to the other side, okay? And I'm standing there like, we got the glass bottles, we got the tall bottles, we got the short bottles, we got this nipple, we got that nipple, then we got the nipples on the side, this is the pack with all bottles, and the nipples are included. This one has a brush with it, and I'm just like standing
The
there
slow
like,
flow.
right?
Yeah.
and then I'm like, I don't know what to even begin with. And I
know.
literally stood there, looked at the bottles, and I was like, screw this. And I walked out.
Yeah.
And then I'm like sitting there, I'm like, I don't know what to do. And then I remember talking to my sisters, and they were like, okay, like they explained it to me. And they were like, this is how it works. This is how it works. This is what you should do. This is what you shouldn't do. And then I remember like, then eventually I started shopping and stuff. And it was a really fun experience.
Yeah.
It's fun getting things. I mean, even though half the time you're like, I'm gonna go broke. Okay. I'm gonna go broke. Okay.
Listen, low key, this is why we have baby showers.
That is so true. It really does help. But I also feel like it was a fun experience, and it's nice getting like cool products. Some of those products are so good that like they will last you a lifetime. Like there's products that I have that have lasted me for like all of my kids. All two.
Yeah, same, same.
I'm saying all of my kids, like I have like 5. I got 2. And, like they lasted me for both my kids,
Yeah,
and they're
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And I loved that aspect of it. And I feel like the list has helped many people, and the list always got updated. Whoever had another baby, they would update the list.
Yep, yep.
So it was an amazing list. I should share that list. I always say I'm going to share it, but then every year there's new products.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
okay, now I got to like update it with the new products.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I really appreciated the list
Yeah.
because then I didn't have the bottle Toys R Us moment that you
Yeah,
had.
yeah.
Because I had the list.
Yeah.
And I would just look at it and I obviously when you are shopping for baby products, you have to look at your own budget.
Totally,
Because
totally.
it is very expensive.
It's-
And some of it may seem gimmicky, right? And
yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
really, if Graco has this great car seat, do I really need to go and get the Nuna or the
Yeah,
Upper
yeah,
Baby,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
A lot of it has to do with kind of that, like any industry,
Yeah.
right?
I
It's, do you need the
High-end version, or are you okay with just like whatever?
Yeah, are you okay with like an Amazon Basics sweatshirt or do you need the Nike? Like, you know, you kind of
That's so true.
You have to know how your spending is going to be because the spending is endless.
It really is.
It doesn't stop.
Yeah, especially when it comes to clothes, because they're going to outgrow the clothes, even bottles. 'Cause
Yeah.
the nipple changes, right?
Yep,
And
as
then
they go
even your
older.
car seats, like now you need a forward-facing car seat. Strollers, it's not a bassinet anymore. Now it's like a forward-facing, and like it's just there's a lot happening.
Exactly. So I think I had to go in with that mindset because I knew that we knew that we weren't just going to have one kid.
Yeah,
Right?
totally.
So I was like, if I get something, whatever I'm gonna invest in is gonna be something that has to last me at least 2 kids.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
For sure.
And so, but other little things, I kind of like got away with some stuff. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
whatever, it's okay, right? But I wanted to ask, what are your top 3 baby products that you could recommend to somebody who is pregnant or has a newborn and wants to like change things around?
For a newborn, or do you feel like for like kids that are over the newborn phase?
How about both?
Okay, so for a newborn,
Like, what is something that you knew you had to buy and you were so grateful you got it because it worked for your kids?
I feel like okay, so this is something that I didn't end up buying it because my sister had it.
Okay.
But like a good bassinet because initially, like for me, I just wanted to have the baby close to me because I didn't want to have to get up in the middle of the night, walk to the crib, pick
sure.
up the baby, bring them back to the bed. And my sister had this, like, it was a really beautiful bassinet from Pottery Barn, and it's just like aesthetic wise, it was super pretty.
Yeah.
It was like made out of wicker and stuff, and she was like, take it, like I'm not using it. So I used that for Emma and Asher.
Love that.
And I feel like it was just great because it was easy to take the baby out and I could just move it right beside me. And there was a little shelf underneath that I could have like wipes and things in. So that was really great. Another thing that I really liked was, man, like there's so many things. Like I'm just trying to think. I really liked, I love the pump, of course. That was
Yeah.
like a big one because I
Yeah.
feel like I really needed it. And I
Yeah.
used it for both of my kids and it really, really helped me.
Do you have a third?
Yeah, so my
Recommendation?
third recommendation would be, and I didn't have this with my daughter, but it was the Hatch sound machine.
That thing is gold. I have two,
I
girl.
love it. No way.
Because I ended up, my mom takes care of my youngest.
Yeah.
When I'm at work and stuff. And so I have one for our home and then I have one for her home.
That is the
And then I ended up splitting so originally all three of my kids were in the same bedroom.
yeah.
And then I had to move them because my older ones are just they wake up way too early, and my younger one, like, he just needs more of the sleep, and they just end up waking him up, and he's just cranky all day. So we moved him, so he's in his own room now, and he needs his own that Hatch machine.
It's insane. You guys, like, for those of you that don't use a sound machine, I never used a sound machine with my daughter.
Okay,
Ever. Like,
why?
I don't think I even, well, first of all, because she would sleep in the same bed as me.
Oh, okay,
For,
okay.
like, even now, like, she has a hard time sleeping by herself because I'm so, like, it was a bad habit.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But with my son, and also we were at my mom's house at that time, and like space is not like open, but like in my own place now, it's with Asher, I feel like when I sleep trained with him, and I started early, and I remember I was like, I think he likes the soothing sound.
Yes.
And I noticed that he liked when I would go like shh, like he would like it. And so I got the sound machine. Like, I did a little bit of research. I got the sound machine. And I remember I would put it on every night. And in those days, I would still co-sleep with him. I know it's like, don't co-sleep with your kids, but honestly speaking, I did just for a little bit.
Yeah.
And when I co-slept with him, I had the Hatch on, and the Hatch is great because you can control it with your phone.
Yes.
There's like a color on it too, and so you've probably heard of like red light and how it's supposed to be really soothing, not only for kids but for adults. It's supposed to get you into your like sleep
You're like
zone.
REM sleep or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And so like I did that for the longest. Even now, he has a Hatch in his room.
Yeah.
And it's on very low now because like initially it used to be so high, like shh. And I was just like,
That volume was at 100.
and now I'm like, okay, like he doesn't need it as much, but it has come through. And then my sister also bought it. I told her about it, and she really likes it.
Yeah.
It's a great machine. You just tap it and it turns on. I love
It's
that.
the best.
It really
And like my kids have now learned that there's also like music and stuff in it. So they'll like play around with it, and like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star comes on and stuff. But it's in all of my kids' rooms.
Yeah.
And like my eldest is gonna turn 5 and he still sleeps with it.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's the same as like when adults say that they need to sleep with the fan on.
Right.
It's like
very
equivalent
true.
to
Very
that.
true. Very true.
Oh, that's a great.
It is such a good purchase, and I
Yeah.
feel like I really, really liked it. You can also like set the time. I love we're just doing a whole advertisement.
Yeah,
for
no, we
Hatch
really
here,
are,
you know,
we are.
like, but it's great. If you guys haven't used it, or if you have, check it out. It's an amazing buy for newborns, especially.
Yeah.
What's your 3 newborn things?
So I think my first one would be the Halo swaddles.
Love that.
And when they get older, the wearable blankets, the Halo. I only ever bought the Halo ones. I never bought any other, like, I'm sure there's so many, like I know Kite Baby and all these other things.
I had the Halo, and then I ended up getting one called like the Guna Muna.
Okay.
You can also buy it on Amazon. And by the way, guys, what we're gonna do is we're gonna link a bunch of these things on our
Yeah.
Amazon storefront. We're gonna link our Amazon storefront for you guys, so you guys know what we're talking about. And it was the one that you just zip up for when they're older, when you don't have to
Yes.
swaddle them. That's
When
what you're
they're-
talking
yes,
about.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
So for sure, I highly recommend that. I don't know. I just feel like it worked wonders, even though I know that my kids also didn't like to be swaddled.
Yeah.
But if you're just a little bit like as a mom, if you can just find the strength to just bear the cry for a minute
Yeah.
and tightly secure them in there,
Yeah.
I can guarantee you it works.
It's great. It's also like, I mean, they even have that in that, that really fancy bassinet, the one that, what's it called? So the bassinet is called the Snoo, okay? And it's supposed to be like the Rolls Royce of like, that's how much it costs, guys. It's like it's an expensive bassinet, but I've heard from a lot of moms that it works wonders for their baby because it like rocks, and it also like it has a built-in swaddle. So the baby sleeps really, really well in it. But the swaddle thing, I think it's really important.
Yeah. So 1, I would say the swaddle. 2, I would say is I actually like did my research and did invest in a sturdy stroller.
Yeah.
And I did it because I knew that I wanted to have more than one kid and I kind of wanted to have them close in age. So I ended up getting the Upper Baby Vista.
That's a really good stroller.
And I literally, the only plus point of that was because I love the double stroller, the double seat.
Yeah.
And we ended up getting that, and all of my kids have gone through them.
That.
And the Vista comes with a bassinet.
Yeah.
So instead of buying my own bassinet, because I was like, it came with a package, I ended up buying the stand.
Oh.
It's the Appa Baby stand that the bassinet clicks
I love
into.
that.
So I had it beside my bed and on the stand, and it also had a shelf underneath. So I had all the like baby items and stuff underneath it. And I just found it so useful. I used it for
That
all
is
of my
super
kids were in it
useful.
because as much as sometimes my kids wouldn't sleep and I found I had to do skin to skin and they were just like on top of me for a lot of the nights in the newborn phase,
Yeah.
I was so scared to go sleep.
Yeah. It is scary.
It's so scary.
like the whole thing of like SIDS.
yeah,
It's terrifying.
it's terrifying. And the thing is, I just know how I sleep and I know I move a lot.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I just couldn't take, no matter what happened and no matter how tired I'd be, or if I knew that this is only going to give me a 15-minute
Yeah.
stretch, they'd be back in the bassinet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that bassinet was just so
That's
handy.
amazing. And also it's great because it's like you don't have to buy a separate bassinet.
Yeah.
You're gonna use the bassinet anyway
Yeah.
for your stroller. So
And
you might as
it
well
clicks into the stroller.
Exactly.
So sometimes when my kids would be asleep in the bassinet and I just needed to get out of the house,
Yeah.
I'd open up the stroller, click the bassinet in, and we would just go for a walk.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to worry about moving them or putting them in the car seat or doing all these
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
So I would recommend doing your research, and depending on what your family planning looks like, if you really want to invest in a double stroller,
Yeah.
I really like the Vista.
The double strollers are good. I think if you are family planning and you do think you're gonna have more than one, then definitely get a stroller that either is like it can be like a solo stroller, but it will definitely convert into
Yes. Because the last thing you want to do is spend close to the same amount of money where you could spend maybe 100, 200 more.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, okay, what do I do now? It's a single seat.
It really is.
And then you end up getting pregnant.
right?
And you're like,
Good
crap, what
luck.
do I do now?
Yeah. And you know the stroller is one of your most expensive purchases.
It really is.
Because like you're not just buying the stroller, you're buying and the way that they sell the strollers is really annoying sometimes because you're like, sell it all together. Don't make me like have to buy like a car seat adapter and like gotta get a cup holder separate. But like it's like a money grab, obviously. And
Damn cup
and like
holder.
these days it's like there's like all these like beautiful strollers coming out. Like I remember when I was looking at a stroller, I was like, I want to get like a really like beautiful stroller. I'm gonna be rolling my kid in that stroller for God knows how long.
Yeah, the aesthetic of it.
So I want to get a really nice stroller, and I got a really nice stroller that I still love till this day, but it is humongous. Okay. And it's beautiful. I have the Mima Kobe, I think at that time. I don't think they have the Kobe now, but I have the Kobe, and it converts into a double as well. I never use the double option. But I just
You
feel
had your
like,
age, you had your kids.
yeah, there was
in
like a
a
4-year gap.
4-year
So
gap,
it
that's
worked
why.
out for me. But I also think like that stroller to me is like not a stroller that I'm like, it's like not a rugged stroller.
You can't roughhouse with
You can't
them.
roughhouse because it's all like leather and like very like, I don't know, like it's just like, I would say like it's a little bit on the more delicate side in comparison to, like a Uppa Baby or a Stoka, where it's like they have the canvas material, which is amazing.
Yes.
And that shit can withstand so much. You know
But
what I
your
mean?
stroller is gorgeous too. So for those
beautiful.
photo shoots,
It's the aesthetic stroller. But then I also ended up having to get a different stroller, which actually I was going to include that in my next for when kids are a little bit older.
so what stroller would you recommend when they're older?
I think the stroller that I ended up using after was the Babies and Yo-Yo.
Oh, okay.
And that stroller, guys, is like such an amazing stroller because, first of all, it's like it can withstand a lot of weight.
Okay.
Like, guys, I sat in the stroller. Like, when I took my kids to Disney, one of the reasons why I got it was because with Asher, when we went to Disney, I just needed something for that boy to be sat down in. Okay.
Buckle him in.
Buckle his butt. Because he would have run rampant, okay? He would have got lost 100%, okay? So I got that stroller at that point, and there were times when I was exhausted, and I was like, I don't want to deal with you, so I sat in the stroller, okay? I was like, I need a break, okay? And so it holds a lot of weight.
Okay.
The other thing is that it is so compact. Like, you literally close it, and I can carry it on my shoulder. Like, it's literally like, when it's...
Wow.
When it is closed, it is very compact. I think you could probably fit it into like the airplane top compartment.
Oh,
That's how
interesting.
compact it is.
Okay.
Pretty lightweight in comparison to a lot of other strollers, and it looks good too. It's not even a bad looking stroller. So I feel like that was definitely one of the purchases that I was like, I love this. I love this. And it also has a bassinet conversion kind of thing if you want to use it as a newborn. But I think that was a really, really great purchase. That I
And is it just a travel stroller, or is it like an all-round?
No, it's all
Okay,
around.
okay.
It's all around. It's great.
Okay.
I love it. What was your third newborn baby thing that you would?
I think my third thing, I would say the white noise machine as well, because my kids survived from day one until now. They are still using it.
It is truly amazing.
And I think that's probably my three things. I would agree with you. So it's your whatever stroller you end up getting, and the swaddle blankets, and
What?
when you go to Costco and you look at their baby clothing, they have the cotton zipper onesies.
They do. They do.
And I love the Costco ones because I don't know, there's just so much more room in them.
Is there?
Yeah, and they don't shrink as quickly as other brands.
I love that.
But it's not Kirkland. It's like it's not the Costco brand.
It's another brand.
one.
It's
Yeah,
another brand.
like I don't know, Pecco
I
or
have
something.
gotten onesies from Costco.
Yeah,
I just don't remember them. I don't remember anything.
and they have the double zip. So the zip at the
double-
top and
Can
the
we
zip
talk
at
about this double zip? Talk about the double zip.
the double zip is what you need for those 2, 3, 4 a.m. feeds and diaper changes.
Absolutely.
Because then you're not making your whole baby just cold and trying to change their diaper, trying to unzip them. Also, do not buy the button onesies.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
We're trying to save you
We're
right
trying
now.
to avoid those things. But you know what the crazy thing is? There are some high-end brands that have button onesies.
Why? You guys, you need to stop making them. Stop
Ralph
making them.
Lauren with the button onesies. And I'm just like, are you serious? Why you gotta make us go through this at night?
Oh my goodness, because at night, the jigsaw puzzle that I'm trying to figure out
Jigsaw puzzle.
with these buttons.
Like, there were times that I was like, I don't even care. I don't care. The buttons be lopsided. I don't care.
Sometimes I didn't even button them. Their feet dangling out.
Sometimes you gotta do that. Sometimes you gotta do that. Like, do we have that time? I
No.
was trying to get in another 15 minutes of sleep.
Right?
My goodness.
So I definitely, the minute I discovered those Costco ones, that was like all that my kids
Love
were in.
that. Love that. I actually also really liked Carter's.
Yeah, for sure.
But the one brand that I was at that time, I don't know how they are right now. So I went and I tried the Joe Fresh onesies and I felt like they were too thin. The material was
Yes.
Now I don't know if they've changed that.
So my issue with Joe Fresh was, and I had a few, I don't know, the minute my kids were born really tiny,
Yeah.
but the minute they started to bulk up, those were too tight for
Slim
them.
fit.
Yeah.
Slim fit suits for kids.
Like their arms were like sausages in there. I was like, I felt so bad. I was like, I shouldn't be trying to stuff you in here right now.
It's kind of cute though when they have those like little rolls. It's the cutest thing ever.
The rolls are so cute.
And your
Usually
kids are chunky.
I have chunks.
Our kids' cheeks are like, oh my god, you're just like, they're so cute.
So that was my hesitation with Joe Fresh.
Yeah.
I love them in the newborn phase. I feel like it was great, but as soon as they started gaining some of that weight back and stuff, I felt like I couldn't get them in those ones.
I know, and I feel you. I feel and the way that they grow out of the onesies.
Oh,
And my mom always said this. She was like, always make sure your kids are in the right size because like if those onesies are too small, then their feet are like stuck.
It's
like,
true.
It's stretching, and she's like, it's just so uncomfortable. I can't even look at them like that. So there was a time when my mom was like, I'm cutting the bottom of the onesie because it's pissing me off. That like your child's onesie is too tight. Like you can go grab another onesie, but you refuse to do it. And I'm like, it's not that I refuse. I just have so many things going on.
yeah.
But
You know, my mom was like that too, and she'd be like, Aruj, don't even look at the feet. She's like, look at how tight it is from the shoulder.
Yeah.
It's like dragging me down. And then when she said that, I felt so bad. I was like, yeah, maybe it's like giving me like, I don't know. And my fourth thing, it's not really like an item, but something that, you know how we talked about baby acne?
Yes.
So
yes.
if you do have baby acne and it's not like crazy,
Yeah.
Put some breast milk on it.
Ooh, that actually works.
Breast milk is magic.
I did that.
And sometimes I would take a little bit of breast milk and I'd put it in their bath.
Oh, I love that.
Just a little bit.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah, just for like, I don't know, skin
Even like
nourishment
things like
and
eczema, where like they tell you to do oatmeal baths, and I think like for my kids, they have very sensitive skin, especially Asher, and I feel like breast milk really really helps.
it does. I don't
Unless
know
it's
what
like
it
an
is.
extreme baby acne, which Asher did have, and I tried breast milk, and that did not work. But I remember using it with Emma, and she had like a little bit, and I put it on, and literally it was gone.
It was gone.
It was gone.
Yeah.
the next day. I was like, wow.
So these things, there are some things
do
that are
really
just
well.
like amazing. And then I would say other things like if you have winter babies, really invest in that car seat cover.
Oh,
And I had
love that.
So my kids hated the snow suit. Obviously, I feel like every kid hates
But you know
the snow
what?
suit.
It's not even that. You're not supposed to put a snowsuit on your kids in a car seat. Did you know that?
No, I never knew that. Well,
Yeah. I actually just saw a video on it like
Okay.
recently,
Why
where they were,
not?
like-
What's the-
Because they were like, if you do like, I hope this never happens to you, but if your kid is in a car accident, right? And they have a bulky snowsuit, then it's not really, the seatbelt is not holding them down tightly enough because there's a snowsuit coming in the way of it. So you shouldn't put a snowsuit on. And to your point that you have the cover is actually amazing. Because
Okay.
initially I did the snowsuit.
Yeah, same.
And then my sister had the car seat cover. And then she's like, take my car seat cover. And that changed my life.
Mine too.
Oh my goodness.
Did you have the thick winter one, right?
Yes,
So then at least you know that, you know, if you're just layering your kid.
Yeah.
And then let's say they have a little blanket or something, but you have that car seat cover, you'll feel fine.
Yeah.
You can take them,
Totally.
you know?
Yeah.
Or like if you have those, you know, they're not snowsuits, but they're just like thicker, kind of fur-filled,
Fleecy.
fleecy
Yeah.
things. If you put them in those, at least then, because at least they're not uncomfortable in the
Yeah,
car seat.
yeah.
Because I don't know about you, girl, my kids hated the car seats. All three of them.
Brutal.
And I had never experienced this because
Yeah.
my sister's daughter loved the car seat and she would nap in the car seat. So whenever my sister couldn't get her to nap at home, they would take her for drives.
Yeah.
She'd fall right asleep. You think my kids did that?
Oh my gosh.
The minute they were in that car seat,
It's like, get us out of here.
oh my goodness. So one time I remember I went to a wedding
Yeah.
and it was at Woodbine Banquet Hall and I'm driving back and I was just going to take the 401 back. And my son is screaming at the top of his lungs because he's in the car seat. And I took my mom to the wedding and I was like, Mom, you sit in the back with him so that I can drive.
It doesn't help. The secondhand anxiety.
And she was like, should I take him out? I was like, no, are you crazy? Don't take him out. And she was like, I can't stand the cry. I'm like, I can't stand the cry either, but we don't have a choice.
Yeah,
Okay. But
yeah.
Mom, just quiet and we're just driving back. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I remember we got on the 407 because I was like, I need to jet through this right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
We get on the 407. He's screaming, screaming, screaming. And then when we get off the 407, I stopped the car.
Yeah.
I pulled into a street. I like took him out. I tried to comfort him. He was okay. But then again, I had to put him back in the
And
car
then he
seat.
starts crying again.
And then he starts crying again. And then I got home and then I brought him inside and I was like, Farhan, drop my mom home.
Oh my goodness.
Because he just wouldn't stop.
Aruj, that experience that you're sharing right now, first of all, I feel like every mom has gone through that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But second of all, I remember, and I actually, my kids were pretty good in the cars.
okay.
I didn't have that happen to me a lot, but it did happen to me. And I remember being in the driver's seat when your kid is like, and they're like, it's like they're doing the cry where like they stop breathing.
Yes.
You know that, you know that.
Oh, I know that
that
cry.
And then you're like, oh my God, panic. And you're like, I need to pull over to the side of the road. Then I'm gonna have to get out. Then I'm gonna have to sit in the back. Then I'm gonna have to feed them. Like midway, like
Yeah.
I'm on the highway or
Yeah.
I'm like coming back. It's like freaking 11 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, going to have to sit at the back, take my jacket off, feed my kid, feed them, put them back in the car seat again. Oh my goodness. I remember a similar situation where my sister and her kids did not like the car seat for a period of time. I remember it was me and my sister and my mom, and we were coming back from an event, and the same thing happened. And my sister, I knew, like, you know, you just pick up on the vibes with your
Of
sister.
course.
And I knew she was like, oh my God. But when someone's in the car with you, you're also feeling more anxious because they're
Yes.
anxious.
Yes.
And you're like, oh my God, like they're feeling anxious. I'm picking up on the anxiety. And I remember at one point I was like, yo, sit at the back. I'll drive. You sit at the back, figure it out. You know, because it's hard for the mom. So hard for the mom.
Yep.
But you know, for the person that's like, I'm sitting at the back with the kids. Why can't I help this situation?
Oh my goodness.
It's very hard.
The mom anxiety is so
anxiety.
real.
And how much does that turn you off from going out again?
You don't want to go.
You're like,
You
I never want to do this again.
You're literally
Never
like,
want
I
to-
cannot believe that I was waiting 3 weeks for this
Yeah.
wedding to come.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited and like people get to see my baby.
Yeah,
And I'm, you know, I get to dress up and like my husband will be home. So like, you know, we can figure out the scheduling or whatever. And then you get in the car and the drive to the venue is fine.
Hey, perfect.
And you're like, no, I
issue.
got this.
Yeah.
And you got to like eat the meal
Yeah.
and have your, you know, banquet hall butter chicken and you're like living life. And then you get in the car and you're like, never again. I am never going to do this again. I'm never
Yeah.
putting myself through this again.
But I think that's a very important topic because that's why a lot of moms have anxiety leaving the house
100%.
with newborns. And I remember going through this phase where I was just like, I don't want to leave.
Same.
Because if I leave, I have to lug a flipping diaper bag that's like full of 15 million things, which I'm probably going to forget half the things I need. Then when I go there, the baby's going to be hysterically crying and I'm going to be sitting in a corner. And to be honest, I had this experience. Like Emma was like super young. I went to like a wedding event And I remember the whole time, because like I was a new mom, how the hell would I know how to mother? Okay. The whole time, girl, I sat on the side. Like I remember I wore like a lawn suit to like a wedding event because I was like, ain't nobody wearing calm.
Nope.
Not
No
happening.
silk,
Not happening.
no chiffon, nothing.
Like even then, your suits are fit. Like it was not a loose suit. Okay. Can you imagine trying to breastfeed with like pick your kameez up? Okay.
You're like,
undo the nursing bra. Like, and you're sitting there and you're like so uncomfortable. And then there's people around you and they're like, oh, do you need help? Like, are you okay? And like, you just feel so out of place.
Oh, yeah.
You can't enjoy anything because your mom anxiety is at an all-time high. Like, the baby's crying, then you're taking the stroller, moving it back and forth. And then it's like, oh, now that she stopped crying, let me go change a diaper now. And then there's like no change room for kids.
Nope.
So you're changing your diaper on like random like upturned tables or on the floor. And like, it's just so hard.
Yep.
And you feel so like, I never want to do this again. And then like, as soon as you get home, you're just like, oh my God, I can.
that sigh
Yeah.
is the
You
realest sigh on the
enter
planet.
your house and you're just like, shook I never want to do this again.
And all you want to do is crawl in your bed.
Yeah, and you just like, tomorrow's a new day. Think positive.
And all you're doing is praying, can you please give me an extra hour of sleep?
Yeah, and then like you go into bed and you're like, let me just see what's happening on socials. And
Honestly.
you go online and like all your friends are having a wild time. Like all these like people are like living their life and you're just like, what is my life? What is
Honestly.
my life? Like it's rough.
It's rough. I remember there were moments when like it'd be the middle of the night and it's my first Ibrahim. He's not sleeping.
Yeah.
He's fed and changed and everything and he's just crying. And my husband's trying to comfort him and like we just don't know what to do
Yeah.
at this point. And I'm literally holding him and walking up and down and in the like little hallway
Yeah.
between rooms. And I'm just like, then I'm sitting on the rocking chair. I'm trying to move back and forth. And then I'm like trying to do all these things. And then at like 3 a.m., I'm like, I'm just going to open up my phone and just see what's up. Because he's like sort of settled.
Yeah.
So let me just see what's going on because I got nothing else to do. And then I see all these people with like multiple kids. And I was like, why did you do this to yourself? Why did you want to have, because I'm literally sitting at
Yeah.
the moment, looking at my child, love him to death. Don't get me wrong. But I'm
Yeah.
just like, why do people want to have more than one? Because this is so hard.
It's so hard.
And nobody at 3 a.m. is going to understand these thoughts.
Yeah. And like
Right?
sometimes even when you like tell your mom, they don't.
I never told my mom, I'm not going to lie.
So like I actually did tell my mom and I was like, I feel so overwhelmed. And I think my mom, she was just like, girl, I have 4 kids. You're complaining with one? You know what I mean? And sometimes moms are like, they also come from the, like sometimes like my mom has even been like, well, you know, this is like a big blessing. And like, I think they don't understand that like you are really going through it, you know? I think now she really gets it.
Yeah.
She gets it so like she gets it and she also remembers that like because we talk about mental health and we say, mom, like this was such a rough period. And she's like,
Right?
honestly, when I think about it, it was really hard for me too. And like, you know, one of my sisters, my mom would have, she was a bad sleeper. My mom was like, I would have to stay up all night long. And like, she'd be crying. I would never get sleep. And like, it was a really hard time for me. But like, they also forget.
They forget.
They
And
forget.
this is why I never shared anything with my mom.
Yeah.
Because I remember even when I was pregnant, I was like, Mom, like, what should I expect? And she was like, Aruj, beta, mujhe yaad nahi hai.
Yeah.
She's like, mujhe wo time nahi yaad.
So true.
She's like, mujhe nahi pata how I finally managed to get out of that. She's like, I don't know. And I don't know who and how I was able to pull through.
Yeah.
And she was like, I just did it. And she's like, maybe it's just one of those things where you forget and you
forget.
kids grow older and you're just like, yeah, I went through it, but I don't
totally.
remember.
But there's like, I forget things that happened when my daughter
For
was
sure.
Right? I forgot like moments of her birth story where I was like, oh yeah, that happened too. And like you look back at a picture and you're like, oh, that happened. Or like this happened. You don't really like remember certain things. So like it's been like decades for them.
Right?
Right?
So they're obviously
And
not gonna.
it's a new thing for them, but like for the grandmas that come through and like are the best grandmas out there.
Honestly.
There's some grandmas that are not present and they're not there for their kids, which is a horrible situation. We feel for you guys, but for the grandmas that come through, they're the best grandmas out there.
Best village.
Like for real, like I have to say, like, and I'm sure your mom is amazing.
Oh,
because
yeah.
I already know she is. I already know she is. But my mom is like honestly the best grandma.
Right?
She's the best grandma. Sometimes I'm like, what the hell? What do you mean they can jump on the sofa?
We weren't allowed to jump on the sofa.
I would get annihilated if I even attempted. Okay, like it was like you stand up and your mom gives you the look and your ass better sit down. Okay, because you're gonna catch it. Okay, but my kids jumping on the sofa, pillows being thrown everywhere.
yeah.
Like the things they do that they get away with. Wow.
And my mom always says, "Mom was like, if it was any other kid,
Yeah.
that won't fly. But it's your kid, so I'm gonna let this pass."
Because it's like it's my kid anyway. That's so funny.
She is honestly, she is literally the best grandma. I can just drop them off, and I just know. That there's no hesitation.
Yeah.
There's no like, wait, let me call her and ask.
Yeah.
It's literally I'm calling her and telling her.
Like, the kids are coming.
Yeah.
Prepare yourself. Your day is done. Okay.
And she'd be like, "Saw the phone?"
Oh, I love that.
And I'm just like, oh, this is literally the
that
best.
is like, oh, that's such a mom thing.
And you know, in that moment when you're so frustrated with your kids,
Yeah.
and then somebody's just like, "Of course, welcome, come
Yeah.
and at any time. The
Yeah.
door's open. What do you want me to make for them?
Yeah.
You know what? It's okay. Don't even think about it. Let me make something for them."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you're just like, oh,
And then they
God.
they feed your kids.
Oh, that sigh of relief.
The sigh of relief. The way that our moms come.
Honestly, you know, there have been times where I've taken like all 3 kids to my mom's
Yeah.
house. Okay, all 3.
Yeah.
My brother's not home. My dad isn't home. It's just me, my mom, and the 3 kids.
Yeah.
Okay. And we get Issa down for a nap.
Yeah.
The other 2 are running wild.
Yeah.
Okay, they're running wild. Guess what I do? I go in one of the rooms. Lay down on the couch and I nap for 20 minutes.
Yeah. And your mom's like, I got this.
Yeah, and I don't know what my kids are doing, where they are, and I literally wake up from the nap, and they're like, my kids are like, "Oh, Mama, are you done sleeping? Do you want to play with us now?" And I'm like, "Yeah,
Let's
I'm
play."
fresh." And Mom's like, "Oh, they already ate. I changed this one's diaper."
Right?
And I was like,
They do everything.
"Oh, bless."
But they we said this so many times that Jen is built different.
That Jen is built different.
There's no nothing. Like honestly,
Nothing.
nothing. There's no like, oh, I'm tired. Like, do they get tired?
I don't
Do
know.
they know what tired is?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know if they even know. My mom is like, she can't stop. Like she just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. But I feel like I'm like glad that we have that in our life.
Honestly,
it's a very big blessing. Yeah.
And I have to say that I'm really disheartened for people out there who don't have that experience, and I apologize because it is so lonely. And then on top of that, if you don't have a village and your partner is like working, and you know, we mentioned this in one of the episodes when we were talking about gifting.
Yeah.
And we're like, you know, gift your girl.
Yeah,
Gift your wife.
yeah.
Gift the mom of your child. Because if there is no village, and if they're too young to be in daycare, or if your wife decides to be a stay-at-home mom, but there's no grandparents around, or there's no family around, or they've moved from state to state or city to city, or whatever the case may be, there's that loneliness is just exponential.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so how are you guys managing that?
Yeah. How do you manage? How do you manage as a mom, knowing either maybe your mom's not here, maybe she just was like a toxic mom and she wasn't there for you and she didn't support you in whatever capacity that you needed. But I think those things really like impact your life in such a deep way. It's also very like it's like a deep sadness that I don't know if you are able to let go of that if something like that happens. So really in those situations, like our hearts go out to you, and we really hope that you guys have a solid group of friends or some sort of tribe that's there. If you don't have that, we'll be your tribe. Easy peasy will be your tribe.
Okay, mom.
Okay, mom. Exactly. Okay, so related to the mom tips, okay? What are some of the things that you bought that you were like, or like some of the things that you heard about that you were like, this is the biggest BS scam for moms to buy for their kids?
The list is endless.
The
girl.
list is endless. Now we're seasoned.
Yeah.
We can say candidly.
Okay.
Throw it out there.
So I love this because I feel like this is like a deeper version of Fazul or Fire.
Yeah, Fazul or Fire, totally.
Okay, first of all, and this is for when your kids are a little bit older, the way I got roped into this item, ladies and gentlemen, the way I would do the research and I watched the videos and I was like, this is so cool. It's going to be so amazing for my kid. The Jolly Jumper.
The jolly freaking jumper.
Let me tell you, it is such a Fazul kharchi, okay? I literally, and the thing is, I didn't get the one that had its own swing stand.
Okay.
I got the ones that you're supposed to hook up to like
The ceiling.
or like wherever, like a
Like
secure.
anchor to the ceiling.
Yeah.
That's
and
a tech one.
Oh my god, yeah, because I was like, oh, this is so cool. And we had the space for it in the house. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Because if you have like a good like wall space that you can work with, or like a door entryway or something, it can work really well. So we had that in the townhouse, and I was like, I'm gonna get this Jolly Jumper. It's gonna help my kids' leg strength, and they're gonna get so active. And
It's all about the leg strength.
honestly, and I'm gonna put them in there, and they're gonna jump there. And I'm gonna get 30 minutes to myself because the kid is just gonna be exercising.
Oh Lord.
To strap your baby in that, it's like you're harnessing them for them to go jump off a cliff. I was like, this thing is useless. It took me so long to even get
my
them in there,
God.
let alone get them attached to this thing for them to jump. They only, honestly, like 2 or 3 minutes.
Oh my God.
2 or 3 minutes. And I made a cute little video, and I was like, never again.
Book loss.
I
Book
packed it
loss
up,
product.
put it down in the basement. It's
I
one of
can't
those basement.
stand that.
It was so useless.
And you know it's over $100.
Oh, it's
of course.
Oh my goodness. I think actually I mentioned it to a friend who ended up giving it to me as a gift because I was like,
lucky.
And then I felt so bad. I was like, oh, I did the research. I
Yeah.
wanted to get this. I mentioned it to a friend like, oh, she was like, oh, is there anything that you want to get?
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, actually, I don't have this. This would be great.
Yeah.
Only for it to suck.
Oh my God. No, honestly, I feel like there's so many of those purchases that we make.
Another thing,
Yeah.
which actually made me sad
Yeah.
because my sister gifted this to me and it's a very expensive item.
Yeah.
The Mamaroo swing.
I love my Mamaroo.
I loved it.
Yeah.
My kids. Let me tell
I
you.
hate when that happens.
Honestly, I was so disappointed because I was so looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna put my baby in there. And maybe it's because my kids were colic.
Maybe.
I don't know, something
Yeah.
set it off and
Yeah.
the emotion, but Issa loved it.
Oh, no way.
So 1 out of 3 loved it. And I'm glad that I kept it
it
until
got
then.
some use.
So it did get some use, but my other 2, no way.
That is so depressing because you know when like it's like an expensive item.
Ooh.
It's like the bougie items and they don't like it. You're almost like you want to force them.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean you don't like it? What do you mean? I had to sell my left kidney for this item. Okay? You better like it.
And then, honestly, when I was reading the features of the Mamaroo, it was like, it has this like swaying feature
Yeah.
and like the kangaroo sway.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, this is so cool, right?
Right?
Right? And then it's like, it has the sound built
Yeah, it
in.
does, it
You
does.
can even plug in your phone and play music on
Did
it.
you ever even do that?
No.
I never did that once.
I tried it once just to see
tried it
if the wire works. But then honestly, and then I was like, oh, maybe it needs the newborn insert. So I bought the newborn insert separate and my
Same,
kids
sis.
just didn't like it.
Okay, honestly, I have the Mamaroo. I loved it. I still have the Mamaroo. I loved it. But like never used that. I used the sound part, never. I plugged in my phone once because I was like, oh, let's see if this works. It worked. And after that, it was like never used it again. Never used it again. And I feel like the newborn insert, that's my problem. The way they freaking upsell. It's like you got the Mamaroo, you paid an arm and a leg for that. But wait. Did you get the newborn insert? You are a horrible mother. How dare you not get the newborn insert? The newborn needs the insert.
Oh my goodness.
And then you're like, I gotta get the insert.
Yep.
Okay. And then you're like talking to like your significant other, like, yeah, we spent this much on the Mamaroo, but like, did you buy the newborn insert? And like, they are like, what the hell?
They're like, what is wrong with you?
Like, take a flipping job that I'm there. Like, are you serious? Like,
Also, these newborn inserts are expensive too. It's another $60, $70
Right?
for an insert. Are you
Right.
kidding me?
And how quickly do they grow out of that insert?
Oh, it's literally called
Like
a newborn
month.
insert
A month
because it's
max.
only
Okay. And then it's like, what do I do with this freaking newborn insert now? Okay.
trash. It's trash.
Literal trash. That's the stuff that bothers me a lot. But it's like that's what they do.
I know.
They catch you.
And then you get so excited because like it's an aesthetic. You're having
It's
a baby,
the aesthetic.
the little anda Mamaroo sitting in the corner of your living room. It makes everybody. You get so excited. You're like, oh, look at this! I got the good
Fancy,
stuff.
the modern one.
And then your kid does not sit in it, and it just lies. It was literally lying in my living room
Yeah.
for years until my third one finally showed us that he was interested in it and
Yeah.
would fall asleep in it and would enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's the only time I got any use out of it.
I'm still glad that you got some.
I know, I was happy that I did, but my other two,
Oh my gosh. So I feel like I had a couple of things that I was just like, there were some things where I was like, I didn't even bother buying them.
Okay.
But I know that my sister bought them and I would look at her like, this is so dumb.
Yeah.
Honestly, like this is so stupid to me. But like she really liked it. Like one of the things was like the wipes warmer. Okay. That warms the wipes. So you put your baby wipes in the wipes warmer, people. It warms the baby wipes when you're wiping your kid's butt, okay? And like everyone says it like at night, when they're like, it's cold and they're like all warm and fuzzy, and then you gotta like change their diaper, and then the warm wipe touches their butt. Set the precedent for yourself to like raise kids that don't know how to deal with cold butts, okay? Like you're doing it to yourself, let me tell you, okay? But my thing with that was I was like, this is just like y'all, this is bakwas. Because in my mind I'm like, listen, you know, like, does it matter that much?
no, it doesn't.
And I also realized, like, even with my sister, she used a wipe warmer, and then there were times when that shit wasn't even plugged.
Yo,
And I'm just like, so you got this freaking glorified wipe warmer. You didn't even plug it in. Like,
Just chew on it.
Yeah.
Take your wipe and go hot.
yeah, like, and then wipe. But like in my mind, I'm like, what is the point? What is the point? And then you buy this like freaking wipe warmer for like how much? Is like over $100 probably.
Yo, I don't even know.
It's so dumb in my mind. But there's moms that were like, I love the wipes warmer. Like, I don't want the baby's butt to get warm. And in my mind, I'm like, no. Like, my child can stand a cold butt for 3 seconds. You know what I mean?
You know what's hilarious? My sister had the wipes warmer.
There you go. What is it with our sister?
And I got roped into it too.
You got the wipes warmer?
And I got the wipes warmer. I never plugged it in.
Oh, there you go.
I never plugged it in. Because I was like, I don't have time for this. I
I
love
know
the outlet.
it is.
Yeah, because the thing is, during the newborn phase, because I had my kid in a bassinet in the bassinet stand.
There you go.
I had no outlet.
Right.
So I'm like, where am I gonna even? Do I need an extension cord to plug this in to
Absolutely.
warm up? No.
Absolutely.
And so I was just like, regular wipes.
That's so true. I also think in that initial newborn phase, like everyone has like a baby, or for the people that have a baby room. I'm saying it's like I never had a baby room initially with my first. I had it with my second. For the people that have a baby room, like a lot of the times initially, like you're decking out your baby room so much, but like your baby's sleeping in a bassinet beside your bed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like you're not even really getting to use it, but I love the concept of a baby room. I
Yeah.
think it's so beautiful and
Yeah.
aesthetic. But I think like if you're in a financial crunch when it comes to this stuff, it's really hard because you want to get all the best things.
You do. You do.
You know, like, I think everyone has been there because you always want to get like top notch, everything like aesthetically pleasing. You want to like, like be like a cool mom. You want to be the
Yeah.
hip mom that has all these cool things. And then like sometimes you don't get to do certain things because you're financially like not
Yeah.
in a place where you can do those
Yep,
things.
yep.
And I think in those moments, like it's hard to say it to yourself because I think you go through a lot of internal mom guilt
Of course.
from yourself, but like really give yourself grace because I think not everyone can do everything. Some people do so much and they are like overstretching themselves
Yeah.
just to fit in. And I don't think you should do that. So like do what's within your means and go for things that are in your price range because there are strollers in every budget line, guys. You don't have to buy like a $2,000 stroller just to fit in if your budget is only like $400 or $500, and that's okay. I'm sure it's gonna be an amazing stroller, and it's just like this chapter of your life, and then one day you're never gonna look at the stroller again. So
Honestly.
like, just like always keep that in mind because I feel like I've kind of fallen into that trap at
For
times.
sure.
And I think all of us at some point fall into that, especially when you have a group of moms that you're like, I want to get this, or like on Instagram you see things and you're like, I want to get this, I want to get that. So I think that's something to always like keep in mind, that just because you don't have like the perfect aesthetic baby room does not make you any less of a mother. You know what I mean? You're still a great mom. It still means you love your child, and sometimes we have to remind ourselves of that. 'Cause
For
it's really
sure.
hard. It's really
It's a
hard.
great reminder.
Yeah.
And it's this is gonna be a total tangent. It has nothing
Yeah.
to do with motherhood, okay? But when we were talking about wipes and we were like, fluid, and
Yeah.
you went like this, right?
Yeah.
Did this ever happen to you?
How did I know you were gonna say that? Okay.
So when you were a kid, right? And like, let's say you accidentally poked your eye,
Yes.
and you go crying to your mom, and you're like, I poked
And
my
you're-
eye. And what does your mom do? She takes your sleeve. She goes and warms it up, and then puts it on your eye.
Did it not work?
It always worked.
It always works.
Always worked.
It
And
always
now
works.
I do it to my kids.
I do it to myself. I do it to myself. I'm not. I'll poke my eye and I'll be like putting it on my eye. But where did they discover these things?
I don't know, but it's genius.
It's so genius. It's so genius. So, is there any other items that you were like, this is so stupid? Like,
So like, because I ended up breastfeeding my kids, like bottles were just so useless for me.
yeah,
And I feel like I ended up falling into the trap of like, oh, maybe I need to get this slow flow one, or maybe
Tomo?
yeah, almost on the Dr. Brown's, or
Yeah.
all of these different brands. Maybe this one will help. Maybe this one will make them
Yeah.
less gassy and all these things. You know what I ended up using? The Medela bottles.
Yeah.
And do you want to know what nipples I use? Because my kids they only liked these ones if they ever took a bottle.
yeah.
You know, Enfamil?
I know they give you like the little.
You know those little disposable
formula
ones, the
nipples,
formula
yeah.
ones, the blue ones that you can put on the ready to feed bottles?
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because the material is not, it's what's that material? So I can't remember the material, but for some reason they just gravitated towards that. And I would just go and buy those
Yeah.
and pump, leave the milk
Yeah.
in the same Medela bottle that I pumped it
Yeah.
in, put that nipple on, and that was it.
So I actually use that same method.
Yeah.
And I used the Medela bottle and like one of those nipples too.
Yeah.
And it worked great. But I did use like the Comatoma bottles and I actually did end up liking them.
Okay, good.
But I also know other people that had the same experience as you, where they bought all these different bottles. Their kids never even took the bottle.
Never.
They just didn't like the bottle.
They didn't.
So
So it
like,
didn't
it was a
matter
struggle.
what it was.
Yeah.
Like they just, and I feel like it's when I stopped breastfeeding and I was able to introduce them to like whole milk that the bottles came handy.
Exactly. And they're a little bit older at that time too.
Yeah.
So, like it's a little bit easier for them to like get used to it and whatnot.
Yeah, and by then they're obviously like trying to drink from it, and so it was just. I feel like after a year is when any bottles came into use
Yeah, totally.
in this house. But so for me, bottles and pacifiers were just aside from all these items.
Yeah.
How useless is the toy industry?
I was just about to say that. Oh my goodness.
The way they rope you in with all of these
Way
like,
they rope you.
oh, they're muted colors.
Yeah.
Oh, they're Montessori learning.
Baby Einstein. Just say Einstein. Every mom's like, I want my baby to be Einstein. I want my baby to be Einstein. You know,
The marketing is
the
genius.
marketing is genius, and like the way that you do get roped in.
Or like the
This is
Love
gonna
Every
help.
subscriptions.
Yeah.
They're expensive, guys. They're not always worth it.
They're not always worth it, but I also feel like, you know, you are gonna end up getting toys for
You
your
will.
kids, and more than that, people are gonna gift you so many toys.
So many
like
toys.
more than clothes, which I feel like people should just give you like onesies.
Yeah,
You know,
for real.
things you need. The way you get gifted toys and the way those toys sit there, like this colorful throw up puke mess in the corners of your houses. Like, honestly, I'm not judging because y'all should see the toy corner of my house. It's just like, oh my goodness. But like, it is overdone and overwhelming. You do not need that much for your kids.
And your
Yeah.
kids, like, I know that there's an age range on each toy, but I
Yeah.
find that my kids always needed to be a little bit older to even,
Yeah.
like, understand or appreciate any of the
Yeah.
toys.
Yeah.
Like, you know how they have, like, for example, like a Fisher Price cell phone?
Yeah.
Okay, and it has all these like features on it, and it'll tell you the weather, and it'll
Yeah.
like sing the ABCs and do all these things. Like my kids really didn't appreciate that until they were like
Yeah.
over a year.
Yeah.
And they kind of understood that, okay, now this is like whatever, this is telling me this. Before that,
They don't understand the concept of it. I think
No.
for them, when you're a newborn, like I don't even think newborns give a. You know what I mean?
no, they
Like,
can't
they're
just
just
see
like,
it
what
until
is-
they're like 3 months.
What is
you
it?
guys do know that, right? I think it's
Yeah.
like their vision is all blurry.
And then it's like, isn't it like, is it black and white at some point and then it goes to color, or is it just like,
It's black and white, and then the first color that they can see is red.
okay, so basically, if you're showing your kids these flashing, beautiful toys, they're like, what are you showing me? What is it? I think like it's great to I think toys are important too because like they're kids and they do learn from them. Like there are certain toys that I used with my son when he was you know when he was growing older, and I feel like those toys were amazing toys, and they really helped him with like speaking and like forming words and like sounds and things like that. But then there's some toys that I'm like, this is such a useless toy. And you get so many of them because I feel like sometimes you go to the store with your kid and you want to be the mom that's like, yes, I'll get you
Yeah.
whatever you want. But then you're kind of just accumulating like excessive toys.
Yep.
So something that my mom always said to me that she would always do with us is she said, I would take half your toys and put them away.
Smart.
And then like after like I felt like you guys were getting sick of them, I would bring out those toys and put these ones away.
I love that.
And she's like, it was like, y'all were like, where did these new toys come from? And I was like, that's an amazing idea.
I actually, yeah, I do that too because,
So cool.
yeah,
But then also like the way kids play with like toilet paper and like garbage bags,
Ziploc, Tupperware.
Tupperware, or
It's
like
the
those,
best
like,
toy.
Those like steel bowls and
Yo.
like with spoons and like they don't need the toys.
They really-
technically.
They really
You
don't.
get them for your kids, of course, but I'm saying like they make toys out of everything.
Out of everything.
So it's like they just find a way to like entertain themselves.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what else? So here's the thing. I really did like I got a crib, I got a high chair, I got all these things, but I didn't like break the bank for it. I just went and got the cheapest option for me. And let me tell you, it does the exact same thing as like your
It does.
$40 high chair.
Yeah.
Because I got the IKEA ones.
Yeah.
And everybody has. Does the same thing that your $300 high chair is gonna do because your kid is just gonna spill food all over it, and you're just gonna be cleaning that thing up.
That's so
4 million times a day.
That's so true. And that's coming from a girl that did spend a lot of money on the high chair. Don't judge me.
Oh.
I did. But honestly, till this day, my high chair, like I love my high chair.
Yeah.
It's the Bloom Fresco. And it was one of the things that I was like, no, like this is something that I want to splurge on.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
For that reason, I was like, I want to splurge on this, and then I did, and I really liked it, and I felt like it fit in with like kitchen aesthetic. But you know what? It is hard because like if I got the IKEA high chair, which I actually looked at it.
Yeah.
It's easy to clean.
So
Super
easy to clean.
Super easy to clean. Whereas the one that I have, it has a lot more parts to it. Things get stuck in a lot of places. Whereas the IKEA one is like white.
It's all one surface.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And that one is like remove the tray and do this, and then you got to convert it from like a newborn to like a toddler. And so there's a lot of like moving parts, but aesthetically it's really pretty. So that's why I went for it.
I was getting roped into it too, and then I was like, first of all, my kid isn't gonna sit into it until they can
Yeah,
sit up with
yeah,
support,
totally.
and I'm gonna start solid.
Totally.
And then when that time rolled around and I wanted to get a high chair, I was like, ugh. At that point, I was like, I don't have the money for this.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
And that's the thing where like every mom, there's certain things on her list that's like, I really want to get this. Like some moms are like, I want a really nice diaper bag because I'm going to carry it around all the time. Which to be honest, is one thing that I always feel like, no, that is your BFF for the next God knows how many years.
I did
You
splurge.
deserve the nice diaper bag.
I splurged on the diaper bag,
Yeah.
and now it's just sitting in a closet.
Oh my God, is it? Girl, I was like looking far and wide for the perfect diaper bag. And that was like my one thing that I was like, I want to splurge on this.
Right.
I want to get like a designer diaper bag. And then I had this like really old purse of mine that was really big.
Yeah.
And like, I was just like, I don't have the energy to
Yeah.
like keep researching. So I'm just going to use this temporarily. And then like the temporarily became the forever.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was just like, you just move out of that phase. But like, I always feel like that's one thing that I think for moms, like if you can do it, or if like as a husband or a dad, you can do this for like the mom.
Yeah.
It's really sweet to give as like a nice push present, like a really nice diaper bag. But obviously, I mean, the push present should not necessarily only be catered towards like momming.
Yeah, true.
You should also get her a nice designer bag just for the sake of getting her a designer bag.
Do you want to know what my baby bag is now?
Yeah, what is it? A plastic bag. I knew it.
A Freshco tote bag. Okay, because I just grab it, throw some stuff in there, and we go for a drive. And
I'm
that's
not
it.
gonna lie, like when I take Emma for swimming, that is my bag as
That's just what it is, because I'm like, and sometimes I look back and I laugh at baby number 1 Arouge versus baby number 3 Arouge.
right?
Because baby
How
number
much things
1,
change?
oh my god, I had like a separate change pad,
Girl.
and then I had extra bottles, extra diapers, 2 sets of clothing, hats, and like what else? Like maybe a pacifier in case.
In case things that you put in that.
The in case thing. I had a mini sound machine in there.
Oh my god. Well,
Why?
You are very high tech. No, but you know the diaper change pad. I loved mine.
I did.
came through.
That came through because you know what?
That's
A
a
lot
bigger
of
purchase of mine.
yeah, and I had I had the change pad, and then I would have separate change like cloth things that you would put on top that are disposable.
I love that.
So then I felt like when that came in really handy, because when you're at events where there aren't change tables and you end up on the floor
And
or
you
like
need something.
you need something. You don't want to put your baby on like the
Or,
back
like,
of a
your
table.
baby has
or,
a poop explosion. Let's not do
so the change pad really came through, and then I ended up buying like doggy poop bags to put
I did
diapers in.
too. You guys, I bought the bougie ones, the Arm & Hammer ones, and then I realized you can actually go to dollar store and get the same one.
I got the dollar store ones.
And they are amazing. They are amazing.
Yeah.
So the change pad that I had, it was great because it was that material that you can just wipe off. I think yours probably is the same material. And then you fold it, but then it also comes with a compartment where you can put wipes and diapers.
Ooh, nice.
It's all in one. And then I was just like, okay, like I don't have to like deal with this. And even if I would go to a public bathroom where they had the diaper change table, I would always put that down.
Always,
It's just
always.
like, let's just not get the germ bugs.
Yeah, the sanitary aspect.
That I think is one of the purchases that I really, really like for sure. And you know, another one that I was going to talk about is the Nose Frida Snot Sucker. I was like, we gotta shout out. I've
do
told
it.
so many people about that. Nose Frida or Frida Baby, your products are amazing. So for anyone that doesn't know, the snot sucker is exactly what it sounds like. Sucks the snot out of your baby's nose. It sounds gross, but y'all don't knock it till you try it.
Also, one part of that goes inside your baby's nostril. Guess where the other part goes? In your mouth. All right, and you.
Suck that snot out. Eat
Okay,
those boogers.
the satisfaction that you get when that
That,
booger
like,
comes out.
Oh my goodness. When they're congested.
Yes.
Oh my, it's the best feeling ever.
And then it goes from this heavy breathing to like they can finally breathe, and you're
Yes.
like, I did that.
And like you put a little bit of saline. In
Oh,
there,
yeah.
you're solid. Like
And like I still use it
me too.
to this day.
I use it after every bath for me.
Yeah.
It's the best thing ever.
It is.
Sometimes I'm like, I need that snot sucker for myself.
Frida Baby, you're doing
Their
it.
products in general, like even for postpartum life, like
They have all the like healing stuff for
like
women.
the pads and
pads and all these things. I think they even have like a witch hazel, which is really good that you can dab on to help any of the swelling and all that.
and they have that squeezy bottle and everything. Amazing. They have amazing stuff. Some really, really awesome products out there. That is one brand that I'm like, I love everything they have.
I agree.
I love everything they have.
I agree. For baby and mama.
Yeah, totally. So this was a really like deep
dive
episode into like some of the things. And as we were going, we were also like, there's so many other things that we would be like, oh, I like this or I don't like this. But it's also a great question for you guys. What are some baby products that you liked and some baby products that you were like, I really didn't like this? We're going to share that on our IG story and we're going to share the responses because I know there's so many moms out there that are either having a baby, planning to have a baby, or already have a baby. And these are just some great tips for you guys to see. As we also said before, we're going to link everything in our Amazon storefront, which is linked in our bio. You guys can check it out. And if you have any questions, DM us, let us know. And of course, as Aruj is always telling us in the beginning, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to follow us on our socials, IG, Spotify, give us that 5 stars, and we will see you guys next time.
Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.